It's the day of the show.
Eat.
I really identified with the girls in Ghost World. They made me feel like I wasn't so alone.
Yeah, whatever. Do you know anyone who works at Batman? 'Cause I really want to draw Batman. I'm awesome at utility belts. Check these out. This is where the Batman keeps his money, in case he has to take the bus.
Look, this is just an informal chat. We were wondering what you were working on in your lab.
Well, I've invented a pill that gives worms to ex-girlfriends.
Right, and what's positive about that?
Well, it's a pill that gives worms to ex-girlfriends.
Well, could it also give worms to ex-boyfriends?
This is a drug for the world to give worms to ex-girlfriends.
Well, great. Thanks for stopping by.
You just don't get it here.
Do you really want to get him? You see what I'm saying? What are you prepared to do?
Everything within the law.
And then what are you prepared to do? If you open the ball on these people, Mr. Nash, you must be prepared to go all the way. Because they won't give up the fight until one of you is dead.
I want to get Capone. I don't know how to get him.
Want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. And that's how you get Capone.
What's your prediction for the fight, then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Smart-ass ex-boyfriend. You know who I am?
A deeply full retail manager.
Renee is with me now. Okay? You got that? So don't be sniffing around her anymore like you try to do with that. Shit.
There goes the loan.
Listen to me. I got two things to tell you. All right? One, I don't like you. You see you every week in this mall. I don't like shiftless layabouts. You're one of these fucking loser mall rat kids. You don't come down here to work or shop. You hang out all day. Act like you fucking live here. Well, I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda.
Is this what's known as motivated salesmanship?
Have you even heard him sing?
He made me sing last night. And if I were straight, I'd make you high-five me right now.
You are letting your judgment be completely clouded by lust.
Yes, thank you. See, Robert, Saul gets it.
Look, this isn't about me anymore. That dunce cannot be Sky.
Robert, I hear you, but I feel like you're not even considering Stevie's badonkadonk.
I'm married to a woman.
These are all my regulars. You strike me as a angry top. I'm clean, but you do have to glove up unless you're down for some frottage.
Frottage?
It's French for rubbing our dicks together.
Tell me, Senator, did you nurse Catherine yourself?
What?
Did you breastfeed her?
Now, wait a minute.
Yes, I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Amputate a man's leg and he can still feel it tickling. Tell me, Mom, when your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Take this thing back to Baltimore.
I thought if Casanova and Ienzer had nothing to say to each other, he'd get bored. Go away. Instead, he uses it as a chance to put his testicles all over me.
His what?
How you say, octopus, testicles.
No, tentacles. NT. Tentacles.
Tentacles.
There's a big difference.
You do this for hands. He's never gonna let you down. He's always looking so fly. No other buck can compare, that's why Gizmo's the best dog in the world. Living better than Snoop Dogg. That motherfucker better watch out for Gizmo. He's got style and he's got grace. Gizmo's the part that can't be replaced.
Say, would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel? They're a little melty, but damn are they exquisite. And if I remember correctly, you're a big pretzel fan.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah?
No.
Oh, come on.
No,
You're
please.
awesome.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Mmm.
Oh.
Kill or be killed, what is it going to take for people like you and Dingle to get along with the East Coast?
Look, I don't know, man. I mean, these guys got their fucking talking dolls and shit.
Questions, Professor Pickles?
What? I ain't no Professor Pickles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't mess with the East Coast. Look, I don't need you defending me, you howdy-doody looking motherfucker. I'm out of here, yo.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Man, step on.
Hello everybody, Billy Tucci here, and I want you all to know that Fantastic Comics in Berkeley is the best effing comic shop in the United States of America, maybe the world! Booyah!
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. For everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with hard shots. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. This is the last episode of the year. All right. I don't know what rock you're living under, what world you're playing a game in. But for us over here, this is the last Tuesday. Whew. Let's reflect. Just gonna think about things for a little bit and maybe talk about what we liked. We can talk about things that were kind of yuck next week, or even any of the weeks after. But let's just try and, think about the good stuff right now. To keep that in mind, we're going to be talking about my favorite subject, CGC. What is going on with CGC? I can't believe there might be some negative stuff going on with the CGC. For those of you that don't know about that, it is a service that provides a slab and a grade, and people pay a whole lot more money for those. The idea is that unscrupulous people can't get one over on y'all, on me, on people. But people that are unscrupulous always find ways to be unscrupulous. And whether CGC knows it or not, there's some advantage being taken advantage of. Some advantage is being taken advantage of. Someone's getting screwed is what I'm saying. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And we're going to have a whole bunch of segments, including the return of Mukbang. We should get started with that right. So I got this really cool Tony Stark beanie for Christmas. Look at that. And it lights up like Iron Man. Yeah. Brighter. All right. Now, for those of you at home that have, I'm seeing like, me personally, I see like a ton of lights on my screen. I don't know what your guys are seeing. Nonetheless, for those of you that might get seizures, be careful. Yeah, it's great for walking down the street. It really illuminates the stop signs. Pretty cool. But I'm not going to be wearing that. It's super tight. And Marvel really screwed up when they didn't get a red and crimson one, or crimson and gold one. So for those of you that are new here, we talk about comic books. It's not just comic books though, from like some dude, some guy, some old white man. That's me right here, Yule. I'm a guy that owns a comic book store, and bigger YouTubers than I talk about me.
My name is Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. Thank you, Wes. I am a retailer in Berkeley, California. You can see the scroll on the bottom of the screen. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. And we do all sorts of stuff. Talk comics, sell comics. Sometimes I press comics. I have some comics right here that I pressed. If you're interested, I can show you. Let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do that. We've got a slab to crack. And like I said, we have the return of Mukbang. So I got a present from my common law brother-in-law. It was this beer cozy. Yeah, she's walking away. This is root beer. It's not your father's root beer. It's 10 milligrams THC. So it's a cannabis-infused non-alcoholic beverage. The thing I have a problem with is the 160 calories, because I've been doing really, really good for the most part with my unspoken New Year's resolution, which is, hey, stop being such a fat asshole. I wanted to lose 100 pounds, and I'm almost 65 pounds. So I'm over halfway where I wanted to be. I think if I can end this year stepping on the scale on the first under 200 pounds, I'll be very super happy. I'll be super very happy. And hopefully this doesn't kill it. Oh, I didn't make a mukbang. All right. Very root beer. I like that. Cold. But I can't. Oh my god, it's a lot of sugar. I'm gonna have to. Probably a lot of weed too. Don't worry, everybody. We're going to have more mukbang in just a little bit. Unfortunately, it also is candy. So everything is conspiring against me. So I'm only going to have a little bit of it. Here's some of it. Ooh, what could that be? And then there's this. What could that be? But there's more to it than just that. So we've got so much stuff we're going to be doing, and I'm sure I'm going to start sweating any time. First up, we talk about things that are in the comic book store, comic books, things about the industry, the shirt I'm wearing. But we also talk about things that are outside comic books. Sometimes it can be, music. Possibly sometimes a little politics, but not often. But sometimes that can happen. It can slip out. You know what I mean? We're not uncommon to talk about stuff that school teaching. I have a lot of teachers that come in. But another thing we talk about is this. Right, we talk about wrestling. It's not a lot to talk about. At the end of the year, Raw had a best of show. Friday Night SmackDown, it was good. Things happened, but nothing really important. I think there was a title defense, and bravo to Dragon Lee, I think it was, that had a title defense. There was a main event. It was a good show. It was nice. Like, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to work. I'm going to sell things for people that are last minuting and stuff like that. And some of my regulars, we're going to hang out and have a good time. SmackDown was a really nice show to just be able to have a nice wrestling show to watch, but nothing really important. The only thing that happened of note was, and I think it came out now, it ranked like third ranking, was the Iron Claw movie, which is all about the Von Erichs. And there was a clip of this poor guy named Aaron Dean Eisenberg, who portrays Ric Flair. And if you're not ready, now you will be.
I am the world's heavyweight champion because I am the greatest wrestler alive today, the toughest wrestler alive today. I have bled and sweat for this title. No daddy's boy is going to take that from me. This is professional wrestling.
So there's a longer clip, and it shows the Von Erichs working out and stuff like that. But it wasn't very well received. Wrestlers and people that are know-it-alls were out there really talking smack. And I clipped a bit of Ric Flair so that those of you that don't know can hear this, but I'm going to really cut it short. Like, I'm not even going to keep it as long. So here we go.
You're talking to the Rolex
wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling. That's right. That's how you do it. A lot of people are like, there's not anybody out there that should be able to do that, you know, but we know wrestlers. Jay Lethal could do it. It's just make him black. That's what we do these days in movies anyway. And MJF from AEW's in this movie. So, I mean, it would be perfect. You know, you can really own own that story. Jay Lethal does Ric Flair very well. Woo! And that's your wrestling movie. If you're interested, I can tell you what my favorite, or who I think the best wrestler of the year was. And I am mostly a WWE mark. And I shouldn't really say a mark. I just don't have enough time for everything. And AEW just really didn't do it for me ultimately. And I'm not going to chase down crappy Impact wrestling or anything lower than that, or Japanese stuff I'm not really invested in. When they come over and they have a story, Shinsuke Nakamura is doing really great. But the wrestler I think that did the best this year, and I'm going to just say one, male, female, anybody, it doesn't matter. Gunther, that's the guy. I mean, Roman Reigns was on top and the company's doing really well. CM Punk came back in. It looks like they're going to get a really good deal because of him, and they might be squashing AEW in the process. Cody Rhodes came back and he's been doing a really, really solid job keeping, he's like a strong, really good glue. Seth Rollins, but Gunther, that's a guy that you can believe him in any scenario. He's elevated the belt and the competition that's up against him. When someone loses, they're still being built as somebody important. And it's not always somebody that's over him that he's getting a rub from. Miz was doing some of the best stuff of his career. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Chad Gable, just really, really great work. And Gunther is my wrestling dude of the year, person of the year. I just don't think like Bianca, I think like a couple years ago, she would have been like my number one. Like she was just like, boom, big ball of fire, and like you couldn't stop her. But so there you go. All right. Well, since I'm gonna get a copyright claim anyway, I think I should do this.
We didn't come to borrow any money. We didn't come to borrow any dough. We didn't come to borrow any trouble. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Mr. Benny. Please don't think that we are hammy. We just stopped in from Alabama. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh boy, you said it. We just stopped in to say hello. And don't forget it. We just stopped in to say hello. And I'm hello. Hello. Goodbye.
Hello, everyone. Let's go to the very, very, very beginning where we can't see the emojis on the screen. Trust me, they're there. Having a beer doesn't help all the time either with the weight loss, but I'm not compromising fully, and I want to share one with y'all. Tasty beverage. All right. Talking Soul. What the giz? That's right. Joby Pill in the other room saying, Happy Boxing Day, everyone. Toronto Blue Jays got somebody. LK is here saying Merry Christmas, and it was a happy Boxing Day. Manchester United came back from a 2-0 deficit and won 3-2. Holy shit, that's amazing. 5 goals actually scored in a soccer game. My goodness gracious. This is a week of growth. But yes. Dwayne Muth, happy holidays, Yule, and everyone in chat. Happy holidays to you. These emojis work, so I got to figure out what the deal is. LK also says, I only heard about the CGC issue on Saturday, read a bit and watched a couple videos. Seems like CGC has major issues on its hands. Yes, it's true. Everybody's waiting for that CGC response. So we'll get into it. Probably sooner rather than later. Yes, LK and a Volkswagen. Beer Monarch. Let's see here. Speculation is they speak or ride the wave of silence. I see. Yeah, Lane, there's always a lot of vids for me. Most of those I don't get in trouble for. I'm just gonna ace them out in the tomorrow. Also take advantage of clicking on that poll. Let me know what the deal is. I'm gonna say I'll say that. All right, right now, yes is winning. All right. Let's see. You guys, Lithid Lore. 2024 is probably going to be worse than 2023 in terms of comics and the world at large. You mean comics in the world at large, or comics? I mean, it says it, comics and the world at large. Yeah, probably. I mean, to some degree. I mean, we've got an election coming up, so that's going to cause a lot of unrest for like many months during baseball games. I'm hearing commercials. You know, what are you going to do? As comics, I just feel there's no real, well, we're going to talk about negatives. I just feel there's not a whole lot of things to hang your hat on. Maybe that's because I have no hair. But there are things I am looking forward to, and they're supposed to be going for the entire year. So I already know some of them are good, and we'll be talking about that next week, hopefully to temper off some of the hate. Let's see. I'm just here to watch you all demonstrate how to switch CGC labels and swap the books out without breaking the slab. Well, I never show you how I take it out of the condom. So I might be one of those type of people. I like to say, out loud that I want to espouse the principles of Superman, at least to some degree. I don't want to lie, but even in the smallest ways, owning a store, there are, there's lies you tell. What you hope to get from something isn't necessarily, anyway. Loginitas. Hi-Fi Hops. Excellent. All right, let's see. Fear Monarch says, I got scammed on those infused drinks. I drank like 3 and got a slight buzz. Well, it was a gift, so I don't have to really worry about it. But I ate. Sometimes ingesting doesn't work the way you expect it to, and sometimes it's really weak, and other times you're hanging out in the toilet. The ground is so nice and cool, and I'm not going to think about anything that you don't realize. See, when you get off the floor, when you realize, oh, I don't think I washed down here today. Then you're up. I know how much work it takes to lose that kind of weight. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, well, it's just sticking with it. That's really what it is. Oh, Yule, have you seen the movie Iron Claw? No, I have not. It's a great movie. Excellent. Good to know. All right, that guy playing Flair really needs some wooings. Exactly. Gunther is a good choice. He's been solid in everything he does. I agree. Yeah, I don't. Oh, I see. Channel stickers, members stickers don't show up, but actual emojis do. I see. Well, we got to figure out how to make that happen. I used to stream through YouTube, and I think they stopped doing that. Maybe they're back on it. I don't know. And then lastly, with my name. All right, I'm not caught up with the CGC issue. I will tell you, Jasper, I watched videos on it also today so that I could get acquainted with it. I think I got the gimmick and I understand what's going on. Some of it, the problem with it is it very well is all duplicitous on the person doing the thing. But let's say they weren't. Then there's an added element from CGC. So hold on a second. Yule could be the reformed Frank Abnegale of the wait, who? Am I not understanding that? Please tell me what that means. All right. Firstly, I do pressing of comic books. And I'm going to show you some that I did. And I think the pressing is really good because it brings out the color of the comic book. You're not really changing it, but you are getting out some of the wrinkles, hopefully for an extended period of time. Or at least so that you can get a good grade, which is what most people do. Me, I'm just like, getting the roll out. If I really care that much, I usually don't. Rolls for me are not that big a deal. I mean, the slight ones. But I did this Moon Knight. Has the X-Men in it. Pretty cool issue. Some of the problems, you can't press out the little chunks on the corners from these big, fat, thick books. But this is one I did. Same thing with this. Silver Surfer, Volume 2, Number 1, the only issue in the Volume 2. Written and drawn by John Byrne. That's right. Now, these two. So there was a lot of Spider-Man in this buy that I did, and I brought it home. And I had one customer was like, "Oh, I want that. I want that." Well, you say you want that, but come on, really? Do you want that? So this was not one of them. This the color isn't as bright, as reflective as you want it to be, but I think overall, very nice copy. Very nice copy of a book I actually need. And as a store owner, sometimes your desires can't affect the store's growth. So 162, Punisher, Nightcrawler in it, of Spider-Man. And then this one a customer wanted, and it's like a lot of customers will call up and people will be like, "Do you have back issues?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, all right, let's talk about some back issues." "Yeah, what are you looking for?" "I'm looking for Spider-Man, the Todd McFarlane era." Shit, everybody's looking for that. Here's one people do you look for from the Spider-Man Todd McFarlane era. 316. Oh, what is this? The first Venom cover appearance, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I think that's the reason why people want it. This is a real sweet copy. I mean, 9.2 minimum, without a doubt. Do signatures get ruined if I press comics, Jasper? No, they do not. They can't. They can't. So what I try and do is the least amount of heat that's going to be placed on the book. I want it to be on the press or on the sign side, and then I flip it over and do it the other way. Signatures, yeah, for the most part don't, but it could be depending on the pen. There was one I got and it was very raised ink, and it was a no-go after that with that stuff. Venom 316 says, "I'm gonna kick your ass." Oh shit, while we're doing questions for Smartman, can you press foil covers? You're not supposed to. I've never done it, so I don't think so. Even the cardstock ones, not really, but I've done it. But no, not foil covers. You're not supposed to. Holographic, you're not supposed to. So no. All right. And then lastly, Jasper says, I've got the Wolverine Hulk McFarlane cover signed by Peter David. Now you just need that McFarlane one. All right, so let's talk about this CGC scam. And we will show you the last CGC book in my collection that I have to crack. It's a Spider-Man one. Slightly out of the numbers that I need for my 150 to 250. But this is it's a key issue. Not even just like a minor key or anything like that. It's a very important issue. I got it right here. It's an homage cover. Yeah. Can you guess what it might be? 150 to 250, just outside. We're going to crack it in just a moment, but we're going to talk about the CGC scam that's going on. And what will happen is you will get something, let's say, qualified. And what people are doing is they're getting their CGC slab, right? And they're cracking it just a bit, and they're getting the paperwork out of a good one. Okay. And they're placing it in something very, very similar, but without the qualify. So, or take the qualify out. So let's say there's a Mark Jeweler, and that's important for stupid reasons. But what's going on is they're taking the piece of paper out of the Mark Jeweler one, or yeah, they're doing that. And they're placing that in the bad one. And they're taking the bad one and they're putting it in the Mark Jeweler one, and they're saying, will you reholder this for me? And they're also getting the other one reholdered too. I think that's how it goes. I'm kind of confused a little bit on it. But what it is that they're taking the piece of paper and they're placing it in the other one, and they're saying, this is a cracked slab. I need to get it fixed. You already said yes to what this is. And instead of being a qualified book, which is sometimes like it doesn't have a piece of paper in the middle, like the Marvel stamp, or maybe somebody did some doctoring on the cover and stuff like that. And they're getting the good marking, because what they do is they reholder the plastic. But when you crack this open, there's the condom let's crack this open right now. So I've got a 9.6 CGC Amazing Spider-Man 252 right here. And we're gonna do one of our favorite features on the show, probably the last one for a while.
Good.
All right, let me just make this smaller, go down a little bit farther. Whoa, all the way down. There we go. Spider-Man 252, first black costume. Spider-Man swinging, homage, AF-15, all that stuff. So obviously I'm anti-slabbing. I mean, the idea behind it is sound, because I'm buying something from somebody in North Carolina, and I don't know how they grade these books. But a lot of times customers come into stores and haggle with my grade on a book anyway, and comic store owners, you would hope, would sometimes have a degree of, being able to grade a comic book, but that's not always the case. Wow. My last one. It's like, don't stop doing this. Free us. Comics are meant to be read, and that's why I break mine out. I mean, I always thought I was going to, but it was kind of like, I don't know, scary. What if I fuck the comic book up or something like that? But, do you really care? See, it's all shattering on me. All right, time to go on the other end. All right. It's funny, like as I was buying these Slab books, this was like the first one I bought. And with the exception of that CBCS one, this is the hardest one to have opened. All right, so here's your condom right here. See how it's in there? So I could have, broken this open, pulled this out, switched it with something else, and said, "You guys fucked up. It does have the thing that it has right here." And then they send that back, and now I've got two of those things. And then I'm going to sell one of those without that, without it being what it actually is. And then you're going to get it, and you're probably never going to know because you're not an asshole like me breaking open your slabs. But someone's like, well, I can press this comic book out and make it a better grade. So then someone finally does that. And then they're like, what the fuck? I paid $7,000, $9,000, $10,000 more for this freaking comic book, not just because of the grade, but because it has something in it that it doesn't have. A Mark Jeweller's insert. These are ridiculous that we care that much about Mark Jeweler inserts, but it's one of those things. So when you're getting a comic book reholdered from CGC, they're not taking it out of this and putting it in another one of these, making sure it's the grade it is and whatnot, because all you're doing is getting something fixed that they've already agreed to. See what I mean? We already agreed this is a 9.6. All I have to do is send it over there. I got the thing right here. It's no big deal. And someone at CGC is probably careless because they're inundated with a shit ton of stuff. Because when you're trying to sell your comic books because you get it graded, you're going through CGC because you're going to get a whole lot less if you do it through a different company, which affects, the quality that you're going to get. Now, I personally think that the quality that you get from CGC is, it's just, you're not going to be able to maintain it. It's just, there's no way. There's a standard that you hope that everybody will agree to, and you will somehow grade similar to each other on it. But everybody has their own tell, something that isn't as much. Everybody agrees. Oh, this stain here. Ugly people know what good-looking people look like. And good-looking people know what ugly people look like. This is supposed to be so you don't get scammed. The best way to buy a comic book is to go into a comic book store, and even if it's overpriced, if you can agree that this is the same grade that this is, if this is in the slab and I'm selling it, you're going to pay 100, 200, 300 more for a book. If this looked like this in my store, you're going to pay $50, maybe $100 more than cover, but nowhere near the price And you're going to have seen this whole thing. Of course, then you're going to probably say, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to get it slapped. Because I'm not going to be one of those assholes that's going to do that kind of thing. Me, I'm the kind of asshole that says, this is mine. It goes in this drawer right here, along with all the other ones. And this is lost to the census. It doesn't count anymore. It's mine. It's yours. And eventually I'll cut it out of this, but it is really close to the edge. So I don't like to do them all the time. But one day I'm going to do it. All of them. But it won't be on camera because that's pretty nerve-wracking. One of the reasons why I take my comics out of I want to know what a 9.6 is according to CGC. And you probably wanted just like, oh, well, hey, I'm going to buy a comic book and it's going to be worth more money because it came from a newsstand. When everybody was buying from comic book stores, very few people were buying from newsstands. Kids fuck those things up anyway. So it's hard to get a really good newsstand copy of this. This is a direct market one. Spider-Man's face looks better. Newsstand will have the numbers on it, the barcode. A direct newsstand or direct market news with the barcode with the line through it is a direct market. The barcodes with the line through it is a direct market. But not all graders are the same. It's just really what it comes down to it. And CGC, man. I think this is not really CGC being scammers. I think there's a lot about CGC I appreciate. What I don't appreciate is the money, the time, all the plastic, the fact that it's needed because it's someone can't tell when they have a page out of a comic book or the picture doesn't match what you put on eBay and stuff like that. I got a really, really good 316. And I'm going to look it up in Guide. And I'm going to say, wow, that is actually the first appearance of Venom on the cover or whatever. This is really super sought after. And people pay a lot of money for it. So I'll put more money on this. But again, it will never reach the ridiculous price of something that's getting bid on because it's slabbed. The best way to buy this is this way for you. You have to go into a store in order to see it. Unfortunately, more and more stores are just going and doing it this way because you're throwing money away. I said last week we need a sea change. Something that needs to happen to the collective consciousness of the entire shopping world. Or else it's all just going to be ordering Amazon or some asshole picking up your food. All right, fine. They come. I'll get a lot more boxes and we'll be, filling the world full of those. And don't forget bubble wrap and paper and all this other stuff. Let the comic store take all that stuff for you. Come on in and buy it. I know it's more expensive. I know. And it sucks. But, man, they got us by the balls. And what are we going to do? You know what I mean? We have to rebel. And the only way to do that is to not watch football on Thursdays on Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? Let's go back to chat. This is the worst comic store show ever. All right, let's see. Let's see if I got any of this right. So yeah, people were talking about Hulk 181. So LK says, how I saw it explained, guy gets a 9.8 common Hulk 181, then gets a 9.4 Mark Jewelers Hulk, swaps them, gets the 9.4 Mark Jewelers re-slabbed, tells CGC you missed the insert. Now it's a 9.8 jeweler. Yeah, that's right. That's so they saw it with Hulk 181s, and now they're doing internet sleuthing, looking at pictures of things that have the same barcode, because when you do these barcode, item code, whatever you want to call it, when you get these, you get a code right here, letting you know what comic it is. So you could type this up in eBay. Someone selling it online will put that up. But now you got CGC just kind of assuming that is true. I press for a guy that sends things into CGC. He's a guy that's legit. I know him to be legit. He goes and gets things signed, and then he sends them into CGC. He's allowed to do this. He is understood to be able to do this. So he has me press his comic books. He then sends them to CGC within a certain amount of time of when that signing happened. So that's a thing. But some guys don't sign that often, so those things have to be rushed. I just recently did some Johnny Bravos for him, and those comics go into CGC, and they come back with really, really good grades. And I want to let you know that I'm not that good a presser. I mean, sometimes, they come back. I mean, they come out good. I'm just joking. I don't think I'm really improving things that much. And there's been a few times when I really questioned the grade, but I feel like I'm harder on things than CGC. So if you come in and you buy a comic book from me, and it's not that one, and I price it like a 9.2 with a couple bucks extra, then you know that you are getting a 9.2 that isn't slabbed, and you would have paid $50, $100, $200 depending on the book. Rather than, if I say it's a 7, it's a 7. And why would you want to go and get that slabbed in the first place? I see people slabbing 2 5s. If the book isn't falling apart, and it can be thrown away. You know what I mean? If that's what's got to happen, it can happen. Can't take the funk in a reader copy. Can't fake the funk in a reader copy. That's true. Let's see here. Those labels can be faked with a high-end printer and repurposed foil sticker. Let me look at this book right now. Well, you're right. I'm sure they could, but I think getting them into the plastic would be difficult. If you got the, I don't know. You're right. I agree, Jasper. I don't believe in CGC. I would rather buy a comic book, from a person that I can see it, look at it. I hate when Comic Tom reports census stats. Ugh. Comic Tom. You ever want to have a hate on Comic Tom program? Hit thumbs up. It's not really Comic Tom. It's people younger than me. You're there whippersnappers and your 3/4 sleeve tattoos, and you think you're so hip with your cuts and your fast talking. Why, I'm just trying to scratch the back of my brain so I can come up with something to talk about. I got to remember it. It's so hard. It's so hard. Fuck those guys and they're friends with stores and they're sitting on a bunch of shitty She-Hulks they're trying to tell you is worth shit. It's just going in that box you're paying $40 for anyway. Speaking of paying money, you don't want to be like George Costanza.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos! $6.50 your change. Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Si!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patron...
Don't get caught putting money in the change because you are in the tip jar. We have a Patreon. You can give us money that way if you appreciate this show. If you appreciate me, you can also subscribe to the channel and get emojis and stickers that I can't put on the screen. but they're fun. Some are Cherry Pop-Tart and Gizmo and the Fantastic Comics logo. Us in chat can see it. That's all that we really need. But yeah, thank you everybody that does that kind of thing. You're all super cool. Let's go back to chat really quick. CGC offered mediation when a collector market got out of control. It's true. He is just talking about the selling trends more than speculating. Tom literally grew up in a comic shop. I don't doubt that. I'm just joking. And that's right, Jasper. My channel isn't about comics. It's about life. And slice of life content. That's right. You want to watch me eat cereal? I can get up. I can do oatmeal in the morning. You can let you guys know what I'm doing to, lose it. Oh wait, here we go. I saw an F word in the chat. I have a Johnny Bravo cell from the. Oh, that is awesome! I love that episode. That is so good. I will drink to that one. Johnny Bravo's all he's all. You guys hear that dog? You guys can talk to that dog? Something like that. I'm doing more sugar snaps. I know. One of the videos I was watching was showing a Hulk 181 that was graded 8 or 8.5. I was surprised at the number of spine ticks it has and still got that higher grade. Yeah, well, color breaks are very important. And spine ticks are allowed as long as it's not crushing the book. I think you can... Even still, I had like 2 spine ticks on a book and then a crushed corner color break. And that was a 9.0. I was like, wow. Why'd you send it in, Yule? It was bagged and I didn't know what the condition was. Oh, geek responsibly. That's right. Geek responsibly. I need one of those. I need to stop with the videos and I need to geek responsibly. I was thinking, do you think like if I got to get the headphones off, because I don't really need these headphones. Let me just turn this off really quick. Yeah. I was looking at my my crap, and in my crap there was a box. I forget if it's in here or not. I got so much junk in here. I've got a button with a shmoo from the Dark Horse collectors. It's the only Dark Horse one that I have is the shmoo Outcap. Oh, I've got Arc Athena, the Gristle trading card. I got all sorts of stuff in here, thumb drives. Oh, here we go. Star-Lord right here. So I found a box and it has my earring in it, my 10 gauge, and it's pretty big. I was thinking, man, maybe I should put that in. If I do that, maybe I'll be like younger looking and cooler. An old man with a big ass earring in his ear. We get the sleeve of. Maybe what I'll do is, do they have like thermals but with like designs in it? Like how the leggings will have like, oh, what's that going on there? Oh, it's not a tattoo underneath the nylon. It's the actual material. If I do that, then I could like, hey, look what I'm sporting. I'm like, yeah. And then you guys talk, and let me tell you what comic is like taking a dive, everybody. Nobody gives a shit about Outcaps the shmoo anymore. What's going on? I put all my money into shmoo. Oh, damn. What are we going to do? All right. Let's do this. Let's do a mukbang, everybody. Mukbang. I've got Kit Kats right here. These are churro flavored. And I mean, I'm like all right with churros. I don't think they ever really are that fun to eat. Like they look like they should be better than they really are. But now I'm thinking like a churro Kit Kat. This could be something else. And Kit Kat in Japan, I found out they make a bunch of different flavors. We get I don't understand why we don't get dick in fucking America, man. Churro. So don't worry, Jill. I'm going to be bringing these out to you. All right, that's all right. Well, I mean, it's all right. Put that on top of the comic books. So I can't hear the video. You watch that down. Ooh, it's a lot. All right. Good mukbang. Not a bad flavor. Wait till those come out. Let me do the beer, the root beer. I'm gonna get diabetes this episode. Weed root beer. Tastes good. I gotta tell you that doesn't taste bad at all. All right. Little mukbang action. Why don't we do best of last week? This is gonna be exciting. I can't wait because best of last week is actually best of the year. Alrighty. So I'm gonna break it down mainstream, not mainstream, and then regular series, mini series. It's gonna be really simple. I have a couple of people or a couple of books that are runners up. And so starting off, mainstream, ongoing, runner up right now. A lot of people are going to say, you're crazy. This is the best book. Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein from time to time, sometimes Travel Foreman, are doing The Incredible Hulk. It's a return to monsters and the Hulk being a scary monster. And he has a sidekick companion, which is reminiscent of Awesome Hulk from the 70s / 80s prior to Peter David. And I do really like this book. But a book that also started this year is now my favorite superhero comic book, mainstream comic book, I should say. And that is Superman. This is the most recent issue. Mostly it has been drawn by Jamal Campbell, but there have been fill-in artists lately. Joshua Williamson is the writer. He's doing a bang-up job on this series, creating new villains, new ideas for the characters that are already pre-existing. We've got Perry White running for mayor, Lois Lane running the Daily Bugle, Lex Luthor in prison, actually helping Superman, and LexCorp is now SuperCorp. And there's a lot of Mercy, which is a fun character. Again, really, really great art throughout, even if it's not the main artist. And lots of cool covers. DC is knocking out of the park with Dawn of DC. Most of their titles that are new, and Superman is probably much, for the most part, leading the way as far as I'm concerned. There's a couple other books that DC is putting out that I think are doing really good, and then of course there's a lot that aren't doing so great. But this one is definitely one of the top ones for the year. And that's my pick for best comic of the year, mainstream. All right. Now, not mainstream is not Marvel, not DC. A lot of people say indie. Indie would be smaller than Vault, if you ask me. And even if they only have 3 people working in their offices, it's still bigger than what I consider indie. A lot of stores publish material, or a lot of material that's published is in a store that calls itself a comic store. Recently, there was a video about Silver Sprocket out there, and they do their own indie type publishing. And they're a boutique store, so you're not going to go in and get Superman there. You're probably not going to get most of these independents either, or these non-mainstream books. But these are the independent, not mainstream books, best of the year. Here's the runner-up. We've got Transformers. Yo, this is the top selling book. Well, then I guess I shouldn't have called it independent. Yeah, it sold a lot of copies, a lot of covers, a lot of printings, and it is totally worth it. And it is fantastic and just really, really super special. I'm really looking forward to where this series is going. I am dreading what's going to happen after DWJ is off the book. He writes and draws it, Daniel Warren Johnson. This is the book of this would be a runner-up. Another runner-up is, oh yeah, these are all runner-up. I got a lot of independent runner-ups. Conan the Barbarian by Jim Zub, Robert De La Torre, and fill-in artists. This is really, really good. If you like Conan, you're going to love it. And if you don't like Conan, you should get over yourself. You know, this is like one of those things where people are like, oh, you don't like characters that are black and gay, and you can't open yourself up to different types of stuff. That's what you tell them about this. It's all the other stuff. Well, you guys can't handle the fact that could be, you know, it doesn't matter. When it's good, it's good. And when Conan's good, it's one of the best. But if you're not inclined to want to read Conan, but you're like, oh, I could suffer through something fantasy, G. Willow Wilson and Chris Wildgoose are doing a really, really good fantasy book called The Hunger and the Dusk from IDW. IDW is going through a lot of bullshit right now, but some of the stuff that they're putting out is quality work. And this is one of the main books that they're putting out that I think you should check out. G. Willow Wilson's a very, very good writer. And this is some really solid artwork too about the orcs and the humans having to work together because there's this impending doom. And this is really good. Image also puts out The Sacrificers by Rick Remender and Max Fiamura. I love Max Fiamura's artwork, and Rick Remender, let's call him a 6 out of 10 guy for me. This is a real fun series. Well, fun? Do I mean fun? It's a real good series, though. I like it a lot, and it's definitely really special artwork, and you should check this one out. Big Game was a mini series that occurred, and oh wait, am I screwing everything up? Oh, that's it. I screwed that up. That was the main series. So the best one, I guess, was what I was going to say was Conan. Conan's book of the year for independent books. It's really super special, and you should check it out. Now we're going to miniseries. Runner-up. Rumpus Room by Mark Russell, Ramon Rosales. It tells a story about this guy who's really super rich, but he's bigger than rich. He like really controls things. And he also controls people. And he puts them in this prison down in where? I don't know. And these dudes in like Disney costumes style stuff, you know, like, oh, there's a hippopotamus. Picks these people up out of this rumpus room and does horrible, torturous things to them. And this is a really good book. I like this one a lot. This is my independent mini-series runner-up. Another runner-up is Junior Baker Righteous Faker by Joe Casey and Ryan Quackenbush. It isn't quite finished. Not that that matters, but it's a real thinker, and I have to really ponder this one. So most of the issues have come out. There's one more to go. I'm going to put that on this year, and it's a runner-up, which is not uncommon with Joe Casey books, you know, even though I'm a real big fan of his, and I like numero uno type guy. There is another person that puts out another book that may have beaten Joe Casey out before, and that's Joe Kelly and Immortal Sergeant. Again, published by Image. This has art by Ken Nomura, and they worked on I Kill Giants together. If you've read I Kill Giants, this is This is a little bit older. I mean, that was a real powerful, strong, not just for kids kind of kid book. But this one's for people that can handle some non-PC conversation amongst people of all ilks. And it's ultimately a father and son story, but it's also about family and family you marry into and family that's still around even when the family unit isn't. And it's real strong. It's about a cop that's trying to solve his last case before he goes out. And he is not a great guy. And his son is anything but his father's kid, but it totally his father's kid. And they go on a cross-country tour. And this is the best miniseries of the year, independent style. Immortal Sergeant, Men of Action, Joe Kelly, Joe Casey, two Joes. Runner-up for mainstream miniseries of the year, Doom Patrol. I totally forgot about it. I was like going through my stuff, and I was thinking about all the different miniseries that are going on, and this is the only one that actually made it in my boxes this year. And, well, that I really like. Some things I don't like actually made it in the box. But Doom Patrol's fantastic. I don't remember who the writer is. I don't really care. It was just a really good book. And the art was good too by Chris Burnham. I think he did a really good job writing the characters and making the stories different. And it's all within the DC universe that's going on. Unstoppable Doom Patrol did end with issue 7, which was one more than normal it was supposed to have. And there's supposed to be more. Oh, that's the root beer kicking in. Hold on a second. I mean, sugar style. All right. I hope this isn't too controversial for y'all. Best miniseries mainstream book. This is the most important book I read this year. Danger Street by Tom King and Jorge Fornes. Tells the story about the DC first issue special series that happened in the 70s around the, what was it called? The implosion, like just before the implosion. And each issue had a different character. And what Tom King is doing is taking all those characters and making one cohesive story out of it. Non-continuity, but taking all the elements of those characters and that we know from continuity and trying to make sense of it in a story. The artwork's fantastic. The covers are great. The variant covers are great. Solid series. Everybody that thought Tom King can't finish a series was wrong. The last issue was excellent. It didn't fall apart halfway through like most of his stuff. Yeah, probably really much, for the most part, does. It is drags on parts, I understand. But if the cynic in me would say they were just renewing copyrights and characters they were never going to use. But this is right in Tom King's wheelhouse. And I didn't want to have to go to therapy after reading it. And I don't think he was unleashing anything too horrible on us from his life, like a lot of people ascribe to his comics. This is a fantastic series, and the entirety of it ran this year. And it's over now. And the first trade came out, and there will be one more. Highly recommended it. I highly recommend it. This was probably one of the books of the year. I do have another book to talk about. I haven't finished it yet. It just came out and I've been busy. But Unended by Josh Baer is fantastic. I'm about 30 or 40 pages into that, and real solid stuff. When I talk about the artwork, it's very much like this cover. I say it's messy. Some people will say, well, you shouldn't be so mean about it by saying that. But I don't mean it in a mean way. You know, sometimes you can find stuff in your mess better than when things are cleaned up. And you have to work when you're reading this book, the words and the pictures. And it's about a son, father and son. Yeah, we've got a theme going here. Where the father is dead and he has an unfinished play, and the son is going to finish it by putting it all together in a comic book. And we are reading that process and more so. Really, really powerful book. Should be book of the year. Should win an Eisner. I'm sure they have a category for it. Should win an Eisner. When it doesn't win an Eisner, it will be because Monica came out by Dan Klaus. And why does he need anything else? He's got it all. He's got like 3 or 4 movies. He's been in The Simpsons. He's got toys. He can do any book anytime he wants, whenever he wants, for however long it takes him to do it. They'll do anything he wants. He doesn't need to win an award. But again, I haven't finished this book. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm about 40 pages in, not unlike Unended. These are my almost books of the year. Original graphic novels. They are a thing. They're not always collections of things that came beforehand, and they're not always young adult. So if you're the type of person that only goes to the comic store every once in a while, hope that these books are there, and know that Monica will be at my store shortly, as will Unended. Because the minute I saw that book, I was like, I got to get more. I got to be a store that sells this book. This is my thing. These are my things. Along with the other things we talked about. Those are the best of last week. What do you guys think? What was your favorite book of the year? Let me know in the comments afterwards, or even in chat right now. Let's see here. Vol ain't getting any bigger. I saw this Silver Sprocket video. It looks like an American version of a European shop. Pretentious times 100. Amen. I like pretension. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a space for that. I like when I can go to my comic book store, buy my Superman, and find some pretentiousness. If I can get both, it's magic. But it's also hard at that pretentious store to get any conversation about some of the superhero stuff. So that's why Fantastic Comics is so great. Kirkman needs to do whatever he has to keep DWJ on Transformers, at least for writing. 100% agree. 100%. There has to be a moment, and I'm not caught up, but like Megatron, you know what I mean? It's going to be crazy. Next year, there's a Conan series that's going to be magazine sized, I believe, and black and white, I think. And John Arcudi is writing, which sold me. Oh, awesome. I know Zub. I think it's going to be a rotating cast. There's going to be some Chaykin. I know Zub's going to be working on one. I think Patrick Zurcher's working on one. So, yeah, there's going to be different people, and I can't wait. Quality from IDW. I guess Heather Antos isn't editing it then. I can't remember who's doing Hunger in the Dusk, but, yeah, you know. I gotta admit, I sell Star Trek pretty well in my store right now. I'd probably go for Big Game, best big non too, but the last volume of Common America packed quite a punch. All right, awesome. Yeah, I think Big Game was excellent. Very, very good book. Mainstreamy, but not the mainstream. I watched a Remender interview the other day. Jasper Plan 9 says. He talked about the 2 new titles he's putting out. I forgot the name. Are they good? So Sacrificers and Holy Roller. And you know what? New Comic Book Day. Let's talk about it real quick. I'm going to go through it real quick. First up, we have, the yearly Timeless. Just in time. I hope there isn't like a story about someone getting in trouble for beating people on the street. Yeah, the new King story, I guess. Come get it. There's an Alex Ross cover. Detective Comics 1080. This is, I think, the end of the Jason Alexander series. I am still not reading Batman, but I have read Batman Off-World #2. Fantastic. Action Comics, the end of Philip Kennedy Johnson's. That's the Hulk writer's current Hulk writer. This is his last action before Jason Aaron, Batman Off-World, takes over action. So this will be finishing up the story. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's been pretty good, and I know a lot of people are upset with it, but I think it's more about Philip Kennedy Johnson being off the book. For those of you that are reading Everything Gang World, The Deadly Hands of Kung Fu comes out. Oh, look, Greg Pak's doing it, everybody. Go figure. Oh, the aforementioned Holy Roller by Rick Remender and Andy What? Chronicles of What? Narnia, Andy Samberg. Roland Boschi's on art, and I do love Roland Boschi. He's the one that worked on Jason Aaron with Ghost Rider after Tony Moore did his typical 6 issues and left. The first issue was okay. I'm not really that into it, but I'm sure some of you will like it. Gang War. What? Another one? That's right. Spider-Woman has a mini-series going on right now, and I didn't read the first issue, and it's sold out. So better come in and get it quick. Gang War. What? Yeah, that's right. I read the 13th issue, which is the first Gang War Miles Morales normal issue story. Cody Ziegler is doing the art writing, and Vinciente, I don't know the first name, is doing the penciling. The first issue kind of put us in the mind of Miles and why he was maybe a little too angry at Peter in that Strike Force, whatever it's called. Strike Force, Gang War Spider-Man first part. Which felt weird and a little out of place. And then I went to Christmas Day dinner over at my common law brother-in-law's joint. And one of the kids was playing the Spider-Man game. And the Spider-Man game has Miles Morales and Peter Parker, and they're all doing stuff together in costume. And I'm thinking to myself, I think that's why Miles Morales was like so upset with Peter Parker not hanging out with him, because they do it in everything other than the comic books. Well, after that Shrink Fest, it was a pretty good issue, and I'm looking forward to this one. Look, the Prowler's back, everybody. Speaking of back, so is World Tree #6. James Tiny Onion and some dude named Blanco does this. I only read the first issue, and I know there was murders and internet, and somebody pretty erotic and tattooed and whatnot. And lastly, I have Green Arrow #7. Congratulations goes to Joshua Williamson and Sean Isaac. They did the unthinkable. They made a 6-issue series, a 12-issue series, and now they're making a 12-issue series, an ongoing series with Green Arrow nonetheless. And to celebrate that, every other character on the cover. But no, Green Arrow has been pretty cool. I read about the first 4 issues, and then they did that break. So that's New Comic Book Day. Are you all looking forward to that? Let me get rid of some of these pictures really quick. I'll go back to chat. Yule, do you have a favorite book for the year from each publisher, at least publishers of a certain size? Well, I mean, I could go through each one. Like if I said Mad Cave, I'd probably say like a Joe Corallo book. But kind of, I don't usually do best of lists, and this is kind of just having fun with you all. But I don't really like to do that. And when I do, I like to just say what my favorite thing is. And so what I normally don't do is separate superhero, ongoing, and miniseries. But things that I usually do revolve around liking more often than not are ongoing series, whether they're ongoing series that aren't going to stick around long or not. These days, almost everything is a mini series from the main companies and not main companies. So it's really hard to like something. I mean, I'm looking through my stuff and I'm thinking, well, I've liked most of the Spider-Man. I don't really like a lot of the discourse when it comes to it, and it does, believe it or not, kind of, taint how I feel about some of it. And some of it's been like ridiculous. But yeah, it just I don't know, it just nothing is really anything I wanted to say, yeah, I want to stick my neck out and say this is the greatest thing. There are some really cool things, but not all of them are great. And sometimes you got to like really search for those diamonds in the rough. But they're out there. But yeah, so like if I was going to go, let's say Mad Cave, I would say like Joe's book. If I was going to say Vault, maybe I wouldn't say anything. Maybe that Chris Yost book, but I haven't read it. I can't read everything also. Scout, they did the Count Dante. I thought, at least initially, it was really good. Dark Horse, probably something Matt Kent. Subgenre number 1 was good, but I read his entire, not Hairball, but just before that. Oh, it was the 3-issue $8 a piece book. Spy Superb. That was superb. That was a really good series, and I think that was at the beginning of this year. So I mean, I could pull out a few. Image, it gets a little different. I would still say a Myrtle Sargent, Junior Baker. I'm predisposed to like that. I thought Big Game again was really, really good, and there's been some really good other Image books, but I kind of like continuity when it comes to that. Like, I'd rather read a mini series that isn't from a mainstream company and more from an independent, especially since they usually take those breaks in between anyway. We all know that as longer series, like World Tree, it took forever for that last one to come out. And if they don't meet certain sales, you might never get to that next part. And if you do, it might take a long time. I get people coming in asking about Lazarus all the time. When's that going to happen? I don't know. But, there's Forged. I don't really like science fiction stuff as much. I could think of like all the things that someone might not like about one of those things or have a reason not to want to pick that up when all they want is the one thing they want. And that's kind of like some of the trouble when you get into creator owned and independent books. It's more easy to sell to someone that likes the Avengers. Well, you like the Avengers. Let me show you this Captain America book. Let me show you this Captain Marvel book. Sometimes Spider-Man's in the Avengers. Sometimes this is in the Avengers. Thor and Captain America and on and on and on. Oh, wow, you really like the story that had something to do with Captain America and somebody that isn't in the Avengers? Well, then you really might like this. And, that's how those shared universes really work. And that's when you really got your hooks in. But I mean, when it's well done and it's worthwhile, it's like, it's fun to like push these things on people. And then it's like the X-Men stuff that's going on right now. Let's see here. No honorable mention for X amount of comics 1963 When Else annual. Only because I didn't get it in. I saw it and it was pretty cool, and I have to really observe it a little bit more. I think Zub has backups. Oh yeah, excellent. I'm looking for it. It's gonna be a mini series. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Savage Sword of Conan. Employees at my LCS Austin Books are super pretentious. Well, when you see it all, are they pretentious with a nose ring and shaved head, or are they pretentious because, oh, You like Quasar? But I can be both of those if I can read the room correctly. I don't like to do it all the time. Sacrificers is hella good. I totally agree. Let's see. I'm just passing through. Also, love me some World Tree. Excellent. Good to know. I picked up the huge artist edition of Nexus. Who is Gormando? I'm not sure. Hardcover and Den volume by Richard Corbin, Dwayne Moose says. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I just got that myself. Of course, I love Richard Corbin, and I had to sell all my copies at the store, and I was like, are they ever going to come back in print? So I got a second, but I'm okay with that. It's fantastic. Rich Corbin is the man. That one is available. So, anybody that needs it, I have a copy, and we can still get more. Let's see. Allegedly, there's a giant-sized Superstars reprint this week, Hulk versus Thing. True statement. Local Bay Area artist Justin Greenwood did a good alien invasion book for Oni. All right, excellent. Tracy Irvin says, grrr, I like Quasar. Yeah, there's always one of you. I always joke about my buddy George Pizarro. He loved the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm talking Charlie 27 style. He liked, or Vance Astro, that type of thing. He liked Iron Man, anybody with a bow and arrow. We said horrible things to him, and yeah, there you go. Love George, and I love joking about people's stuff. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that gets a series that gets canceled after. I'm Keith Giffen guy. Those get canceled after 6 issues almost all the time. Hey, at least it's not E-Man. I've always wanted to read E-Man. I never had. But I do love making fun of Joe State. Speaking of making fun of people, I think it's time for us to...
That candy cane truck is trying to kill us! That's what I've been saying!
We don't listen to you!
Oh, my Dutch baby! Get it out from under the pedals, Lynn! You're mushing it, Bobby! You're killing her! So you believe me now? Oh, I'm so sorry I doubted you, Bobby. I thought it was like that time you said you flushed, but I know you didn't. I flushed? I saw what I saw!
I still see it when I close my eyes.
That's right. It's so weird not hearing all that. We're going to talk about Dutch because Joe Casey's comic Dutch is starting in February, and I want to let everybody know about it. And we're going to get into this issue. Let me just do this really quick. And yeah, I'm going to be making videos based on this. But first thing, this is the last issue of the first storyline called Team Youngblood #3, where Geiger has taken over control of, I can't remember the name of the satellite, but he's got a plan. And Team Youngblood, which is not the main Youngblood team, is going up into space to take these guys on. But first they had to go and get Dutch on the team. And now you're caught up. Inside page, the final countdown. Rob Liefeld's story and creator, Chap Yape, who created Dutch, that's why he can be still used, is the penciler. Norm Rapman on ink. Script, Eric Stevenson, the guy who runs the big show now. Kurt Hathaway on lettering. All right, that's enough. First up, we have the rest of the Image universe chiming in on all the haps that are going up into space. What do you think about this? Well, it is such a situation, but maybe we'll let those guys do what they do, but maybe I might have to do something later. That's Spawn. It's also Prophet. But maybe I have something to do with the thing that's going on up there. And that guy named Kirby, who looks like a dwarf, I guess like white-haired Kirby, he's like, come on, don't be stupid. And then in Chicago, we've got bad guys being thrown out of a room, And Savage Dragon is dragging them along, thinking to himself about all the stuff that's going on, but he's going to keep being a cop in Chicago. And then we have some other Liefeld characters, Battlestone and some other dude. And they're from Bloodstrike, and they're talking about it. And they go, oh, I don't know. They're in there for the fight of their life right now. Finally, we're in space where the important people are. You know, Sentinel, the guy that leads Team Youngblood, and Geiger, the guy that's revolting against the world. Dutch, unfortunately, has a bunch of cybernetics, and Geiger, who leads Cybernet, I think is what they're called. He has control over that kind of junk, and I think he also is sort of responsible for the stuff that's in Dutch's body. Anyway, Dutch is all coiled up and can't do anything. And Sentinel's left to fight this dude alone. And fight he does in big, long panels. He gives, he gets, they talk. Surely you can go. Let me do it more like a bad guy. Surely you can come up with something more imaginative than that. Your reliance on cliched rhetoric is quite pitiable. Now that I consider it, though you've always been somewhat lacking when it came to creative discourse. Man, he really burned Sentinel there, don't you think? He's giving it to Sentinel right now, and all Dutch can do is look on, but Sentinel is able to like tear these cybernetic coils off of him, and I guess in that really, really, really far away panel, second to last, we've got Geiger running away. He's like, I don't doubt you'll try, but I've waited too long to let victory be snatched from my grasp just as my plans are reaching fruition. This isn't over yet, Sentinel. And Sentinel up close says, no, it isn't. And Dutch is able to finally break out. Dutch is like, you pretty well botched that. If you'd have let me handle Geiger, you were handling Geiger and you got tied up, Dutch. What good are you? You're like, they don't think you're like on their side 100%. And now you're talking shit to Sentinel, you know what I mean? Seriously. I mean, you still got coils on your wrist where you've been tied up from. This is like a Wonder Woman comic with you. And he's like, I'm going to kill him if you don't. Meanwhile, all of these guys got filled in. We got Cougar and Photon and Masada. That's the chick. And they're going to go and I think they're going to power up the station so that all broadcasts can actually go through. And they're like, what? And they're like, just do what I told you to do. Meanwhile, Dutch with Sentinel is calling back home. And we find out that this title, the final countdown, is true because the rest of the world leaders are going to nuke this station out of the sky within an hour if these guys can't get this stuff done. So there's a ticking time bomb right now, clock going on right now. And I really think they should have had that clock running on the panels. I think it was a mistake that they didn't do that. Really cool issue of X-Men when they first started off was when Thunderbird died. And they were in Count Nefaria? It was Count Nefaria's mountaintop in Colorado or something like that. And there was like a self-destruct going on. And the X-Men had to get out or else they were all going to die. And everybody in Colorado was going to die. So like it was a bad situation going on. And they would like have like the minutes as it was ticking by, you only have an hour. And I think that would have been really good here also. Oh, well, anyway, Cougar and all of them are doing their thing. And Masada heaves this pillar that has Cougar on it. And I love this next part where it slams into the bad guys, and then Cougar's like, I'm impressed, Masada. Sentinel hadn't informed me of your talents as a strategist. Throw shit at people. You gotta love Team Youngblood, you know what I mean? Anyway, another failed page here. We're just at the very top with no establishing anything going on. Like we go from this page where I guess they're sort of getting cornered in the bottom there. I'll take this banner down. I guess they're kind of sort of getting cornered, but it just didn't feel like it was like things were really closing in on them. They could have used another panel for that. They go straight into the bad guys being powered down. I guess they're robots, but I'm not sure. They talked about troops being there. And Riptide from regular Youngblood is here. We didn't know she was showing up, and she used her powers to like dehydrate these guys. And she's like, come on, we've got a power grid to activate. And so there you go. Next up, we have Sentinel and Dutch, and they finally find where Geiger is. He's doing something that is doing something by being hooked up to something, and he's gonna he's gonna kill everybody is what his plan is. I'm gonna use all the world's nuclear armaments and I'm gonna shoot them at everybody or something like that. And so there's this big old fight going on with Sentinel and Geiger, and Dutch is using his Dutch power, which is, I guess, you remember Cartman in the first South Park, not this Christmas special, the first episode where he has like an anal probe. Oh, well, yeah, exactly. It's kind of looks like that. Like it's coming from his backside. Dutch is like extending arm that's like doing typing or something. While he is too. Anyway, he's getting into the control and he's monitoring, or he's getting the film, the camera on these guys as they're fighting. And as Sentinel and Geiger go at it, the rest of the world is like, yeah, this is rad. The TV's working again, and Sentinel's kicking butt. And yeah, so the rest of the world's watching, and Brahma, which we've seen like 3 or 4 pages of him in the last 2 issues about his dissatisfaction being a Youngblood guy. We get one panel of big ass dude. This could have been concrete for all concrete. Could have been Badrock for all I know. See what I did there? Anyway, he's gone, as if he cares. Back up on the space station, a big old fight's going on, and if you can make sense of what it is, I'm proud of you. The good guy finally gets the upper hand. Dutch is there, looking pretty cool with all of his croissants around his head. This is another scene where there is like a missed situation where you could have been like, you got to do like Evil Dead. So you got these coils again. They're hard and they're being punched through Sentinel. And the second one is in the same panel as the one that's going through him. And I don't know, man. I think there should have been another angle, maybe like a fist, kind of like open. And then you see this shot. And then Sentinel pulls the coil out. Everything's good. And the fighting's going on. And then finally Geiger gets shot from behind. After all this, he just gets blasted right in the head. And who's it by? It's by our boy Dutch. That's right. Dutch came strapped, not just with his prosthetic arm that comes out of his behind, but also with guns. And Dutch's life is in danger, but again, if you can make sense of what's really going on. Sentinel blasts Geiger. Why didn't you just do this before? And Geiger's like, I'll upload myself into another computer. You think this is over? You're wrong. But he explodes. The space station is saved, and all that really horrible child on the bottom is like, all right, we won. Way to go. Oh, Chappie Ape. You got lines, though. I'll say that. Oh, and I like this here. So we've got this Pentagon dude. He's like, all right, they won. And then we've got Battlestone. And he's like, well, if that doesn't beat all, the old goat actually managed to pull it off. Guess Sentinel's made of tougher stuff than I ever cared to give him credit for, after all. Yeah, that's right, Battlestone. And then the rest of Team Youngblood shows up, and they all did their thing, and they're going to be coming home. The most important thing that I got out of this issue when I read it for the very first time, and like everybody's like, well, why are you reading this bullshit? I'm trying to break into comics and gotta know everything that's going on. The inside back cover of Team Youngblood number 3 declared there was a talent search. And you can see exactly what the most important people are right here. Pencilers, inkers, colorists, letters, writers. They should have put writers in small font, lowercase letters on the bottom of this page. You have to be at least 17 years of age and willing to relocate to Anaheim, California. I brought this to my buddy's place, and we were laughing at Team Youngblood, talking about wasting money and all this stuff. And I saw this, and I'm like, oh yeah, check this out. And he eventually did go and worked at Extreme Studios before he got a Marvel gig. And a lot of what he learned working at Extreme Studios got him to work with Chris Bachalo. He inked Sean Chen on when Heroes Reborn was over and they restarted the line. My buddy did Iron Man with Kurt Busiek. So he poo-pooed it, and he didn't want to do it, but I forced him, and he totally got a gig. Way to go. We're not leaving yet, but I am playing this video that suggests we're not going to stick around much longer. That's right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And most importantly, thank you to all the patrons. You have a chance to get in on this list right now. If you subscribe to Patreon, you can just give us like a couple bucks. Not that big a deal. It's like saying thank you. And soon for the channel, I think we're going to do it every 3 months, maybe every 4 months. So 3 times a year or 4 times a year. I'm going to get gift packages together, and we're going to see who can win it for anybody that's a subscriber of the channel. So for the price of a very cheap comic book, $3.99, you can be a channel subscriber, do all the emojis and stickers that we have, and let us know how much you love us, and maybe, just maybe, win some stuff. Maybe like one of these churros. I'll send it in a bag to you. How does that sound? Yeah, thanks everybody. Let's go back to the chat. Oh, it's the 50th anniversary of E-Man. Well, congratulations to those fools. Maybe we should do an E-Man retrospective. I think that's a good idea. I'm totally down. Maybe that's what I'll get Breen back for. He's like, oh, well, we should do Roy Thomas. I'm like, no, we're gonna do Joe Staten. It's all the way. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see here. I miss Red and Blue Spawn, but I get the change. Fear Monarch. Oh, you guys talking to each other. That's excellent. Excellent. All right, that's excellent. Looks good. My favorite thing about Early Image is the gaudy color choices. Yes. Early Image didn't need any help writing what you mean. Writing in an Early Image book, LOL. That's right. That's the way it goes with that. Image Comics. They're to be loved, you know what I mean? But yeah, Dutch by Joe Casey. I'm really looking forward to reading it. We're gonna look at the Zero issue probably next, unless something really good happens in Team Youngblood. Now that it's a show I could get behind, have all the story issues in the back issue that I talked about at E-Man. That's right. All right, excellent, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. It's awesome. We had a whole bunch of people in chat. I'm gonna play a video, not the normal video. I want to see if I get in trouble for it. So I waited until the end of the show, like they'll turn it off. But we played it and got away with it before, so I just want to see what happens. Next year, 2024, next Tuesday, we'll be right back with you. So see you then, and go buy some comics, maybe some of the ones we talked about. And thank you. Love you all. Bye.
Dusty, go on over to that piano.
Oh, no.
No.
I haven't played in
Come
so long.
on. I couldn't.
Been a long time.
All right. We're going to do a little number for you, but remember, we're a bit rusty, so bear with us. Just like the old days.
All right.
Maestro?
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile. Dear little buttercup, won't you stay a while? Come with me where moonbeams paint the sky, and you and I might linger in the sweet by and by. Oh, dear little buttercup, with your eyes so blue. Oh, little buttercup, you're a dream come true. You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, I love you.
Everybody!
My little buttercup has the sweetest.
Yes, ma'am.
Dear little buttercup, won't you stay a while? You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, sweet little buttercup,